let's talk about injuries, Brig, because injuries have been piling up. And I think this is something we knew was going to happen, right? Because of a delayed start with spring training, a shortened spring training, and then you've got things have kind of been going full tilt. And I know that double headers aren't necessarily going to lead to injuries, but reduced rest will.
Well, and that's just baseball, Susan. So
you're right.
There's that as well.
Baseball. Yeah.
It's just plain baseball. So
yeah,
let's jump into this. A couple of Yankees, Louis Gill and Chad Green, both need Tommy John. Now, Gill is a prospect, but he's a big-time prospect we were really excited about, and it's not going to happen now. So Chad Green, though, losing Chad Green's a huge, huge deal, and I'm really worried about it. I'm not going to say it out loud too much, but I am afraid. St. Louis is going to lose Alex Reyes. He won't throw. He's having shoulder surgery. He hasn't pitched all year anyway, but no, he's not going to throw anything else the rest of the year. So Milwaukee loses.
Hold on.
Freddie.
Along the lines of St. Louis, though, let's stay in St. Louis for just a minute. Dylan Carlson is a significant injury for them.
True.
He's one of their top outfielders. He's out with a hamstring until at least June 5th. So I know that's only like a couple weeks for him. That's like 10-day, 15-day IL. But still, that's a big deal for them.
It's a big deal. Yep. Let's see. Who else we got? Milwaukee's losing Freddie Peralta. He's got shoulder tightness, but it's not just any shoulder tightness. He's going to be out till June 22nd projected. That's like rut row shoulder tightness. That's like maybe he tore one of his rotator cuff muscles, minor tear, something. We don't know that. That's all my speculation. But for you to be out for a month with shoulder tightness, it doesn't.
Yeah,
that doesn't.
Because usually shoulder tightness is coming from biceps tendonitis, and you give a guy a week and he's back.
Right, and that becomes your front deltoid. So if you're out for a month, it makes me think of the rotator cuff muscles.
Yeah,
that's all. Could
be.
Oakland is going to lose Frankie Montas. He took a comebacker on the mound. To his hand. They X-rayed his hand. Everything came back negative. And my favorite comment is he's like, "It's not numb anymore."
That's scary.
I think it's really great. So I think he's kind of on a, I don't know. I don't even want to say day-to-day. I don't even know if it's day-to-day, but he's definitely advocating for being just fine, obviously.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that remains the case. Let's move over to Anaheim, just down the coast a little bit. We've got Tyler Ward. He's a right fielder. Dude ran into the wall, as happens. And now they're worried about his neck. So he's getting an MRI on his neck. We don't have a return date because we don't have an out date. He's not necessarily out right now. But it is something to watch if you're an Anaheim fan.
That was an interesting collision that he had because at the time it didn't look like anything really happened. But then you could see he was hurt. And so it was like, oh man, he like roughed up his elbow a little bit. Yeah, like he looked like he kind of like grabbed his elbow. But then he stood up and they were like checking his neck. I was like, ruh-roh. That's not good for him. So hopefully it's not anything serious. He doesn't have to miss a bunch of time. But man, that's not a good way to go.
I agree. Speaking of rut row, Miami's Jazz Chisholm Jr. has left hamstring tightness. Still, there's no IL decision, but we want to watch it pretty close because that is one athletic dude. And for him to have a hamstring issue, if it becomes a nagging issue, that could be a huge problem in Miami. Now, luckily, Miami's not like a raging bull in the league or anything, so we're not going to have huge worries about like the team's record or anything like that. But you just hate to see a guy who has so much fun and is such a huge part of the club, have problems. So,
when a hamstring can really linger, that if they don't resolve it entirely before he comes back and he tries to play through it, and then you come back and they are maybe in the hunt for that last playoff spot in August.
Right.
That would be bad.
Yeah, that's the concern. So again, he's not on the IL yet, but we'll see. JD Martinez, again, he's not on the IL. Everybody says he's fine, but he back spasms. I think that's worth noting just because back injuries also linger and any little thing, you don't know, it can go at any time. So expect to see maybe a little less time from him or, something. I don't know, but I don't know. I just feel like you should watch that one. Tampa Bay, Andrew Kittrich He's a relief pitcher. He's going to be on the IL for 10 days with a back injury. He's going to be out until June 3rd at least. Again, back stuff. Bobby Witt Jr. is out with wrist stuff. Chris Bryant still doesn't play baseball in Colorado because of all sorts of things. In Atlanta, we've got Tyler Matzik, who's got a shoulder problem. It's going to put him out till June 17th, and that's a rut row.
Real quick on Chris Bryant. So his is a back injury. It said that he was probable for the 24th, Tuesday. So keep an eye on him. If he doesn't come back, he might end up being day-to-day, or it could be potentially be more serious. It's been a while, like you said, but I think if he could potentially come back on Tuesday, then and he does, I think he'll be good to go.
Well, I hope so, because he's sitting on my bench, or maybe I released him. I don't remember, but I'm not happy with Chris Bryant. Okay, should have put that rookie in or something. Anyway, let's see, where are we? Alberto Mondesi, Kansas City. His knee is a huge problem. We don't know the details of it, but he will be out for the rest of the season. So he tore something. Good chance, ACL, MCL, something like that. Clayton Kershaw has pelvic issues, which just sounds funny, but it's not. And he'll be out till June 24th at least. This is one of those that's on the margin. We don't know how long he'll be out, but they know he's not going to come back until June 24th, and that is a big rut row.
I just checked on Mondesi. Alberto Mondesi is out with the torn ACL.
It is an ACL. Okay.
Yep.
That sucks. I hope you don't have Max Scherzer on your fantasy team. Because
I don't.
He's out until July 1st.
Because you do, right?
No, I don't have Max. Oh. Who does have Max? Is it Jason?
I don't know. I'll take a look.
Yeah, but I don't remember.
He is still out. I mean, we talked about how it's going to be a while for that oblique, but July 1st feels like a really long time.
I mean, it's 35, 40 days total, right? 45 even. So that's a long time. That sucks. But luckily, he's the kind of guy he'll just come back in and perform. I feel like I don't worry about him swinging back in and needing to ramp up too much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you saw I handled that first pitch with the ambassador to Japan or whatever, and he was like, "No, I'm a professional."
You see what Zip said about that? Zip said this injury is a curse as a direct result of the way he treated Japanese ambassador.
Oh no! Eastern medicine in reverse, rut row. Just kidding. Okay,
maybe you should have thought twice about that.
You made the wrong people angry. Staying in New York a couple of times. Trevor May, relief pitcher, out till July 7th with tricep issues, and my guy Jacob deGrom. He is
That's
on my
who you have.
That's who I have.
That's right. I knew you had him.
It's been terrible. He still hasn't played any baseball, and he won't be playing baseball until July 22nd at least, with shoulder issues. More starting pitchers. We got Steven Strasburg is out until June 8th. He's got a neck issue that we're watching. Bryce Harper is out with UCL tear in his throwing elbow.
Well, he's not entirely out.
That's true. He doesn't play defense.
Yeah, he's kind of a day-to-day, but he's not throwing at all right now. He is hitting because you can hit with he can hit with a UCL issue, just like Ohtani did. He played an entire season as a DH with a torn UCL. So Bryce Harper can continue to play, can continue to rake from the plate, but not going to see him in the outfield for at least 6 to 8 weeks, it looks like.
Very good. Fernando Tatis Jr. continues to be out with his wrist issue. June 25th is the earliest we're looking to see him come back, and that's a big rut row there as well.
So this is the thing that I think with Tatis is that the Padres are still playing very well. They're playing really good baseball, and this is actually going to be a problem for the rest of the NL West, is that when he gets back, look out.
Yeah.
Because his bat has been what they've been missing.
About the only thing, honestly.
Yep.
Let's see what else. Mitch Haniger, outfield with the
Mariners.
Mariners, yeah, his ankle is messed up.
So he went on the COVID list earlier this season, pretty early. Yeah. I mean, it's still early, but so he missed 10 days because of COVID, something like that. And then he came back in Miami. He hit the first pitch he saw to left field for a single, and he caught his spike coming out of the batter's box and rolled his ankle. He limped to first base on what probably could have been a double, and he came right back out.
That's terrible.
Yeah, everybody was like pumped, like, yes, Haniger's back. Here we go. This is the guy we've been waiting for. We need this guy. And then he just goes right back out. Rick Riz, the radio guy for the Mariners, I was listening. He you would have thought that like somebody had died on the field.
Everybody's so like, oh,
he's like Mitch Haniger shoots a ball into left center field, and he is limping. Haniger comes limping out of the batter's box down to first base. Oh no! Oh no!
I love Riz, by the way. He's great. He's so fun to listen to.
Yes, he's a lot of fun and super nice, by the way. Well,
really,
Wilson and I met him this spring. Yeah, he was really nice to Wilson. So
that's really cool.
Went up a few more notches in my book. So really cool.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah. So a couple of updates on things that we have going real quick. So Max Scherzer, Jason has Max Scherzer on his team, not another fantasy team. And last segment, we were trying to figure out this Reds player who went on a tear his first month. It was Aristides Aquino with the Reds in 2019. He hit 14 home runs as a rookie in August. I believe that was a record at the time. Probably continues to be a record. But he was batting 89 this season, and the Reds designated him for assignment. They didn't option him. They designated him for assignment. So
let's talk about the Reds for a minute, because we have a ton of
they've got a laundry list of issues.
I was just going to say, can we call it compassion? Because once we got really digging into this injury list thing, we realized that basically their entire payroll is injured.
Pretty much.
That's what it looks like. Like, what is it? 14 or 15 people that are injured right now? Or is it might even be more than that.
I have 14 guys on the injured list. I have one on there out for the season, but a big one to me is Jonathan India. And he was healthy until May 18th, and he should be back this week with a hamstring injury. I don't know for sure, but somebody I recognize, Jake Fraley, has missed some time with the knee, and he might continue to miss time with the knee because I think that's an ongoing issue for him. Another guy I recognize, Justin Dunn, is expected to be out until June with a shoulder injury. Now, he hasn't pitched this season because that's a shoulder injury that came over with him from Seattle.
Got it.
So there's that. As a pitcher, that's obviously a problem. But they have so many guys on the injured list, and I know people are like, "Well, you can't blame injuries because everybody gets injuries." But this many, you can blame this many injuries.
Yeah, you can blame
because there's only so much you can do. This is something I actually learned the last couple weeks because the Mariners have dealt with a bunch of injuries, but they've been minor. So guys stay on the 10-day IL, 10 to 15-day ILs, right? So unless a guy goes on the 60-day IL, he cannot be replaced on the 40-man roster.
Right, exactly.
So that is a big problem for a lot of teams, that they get guys with these tiny little hamstring injuries, and a little elbow problem. They get hit by a pitch and they have a hand that gets bruised and needs to take a couple of days to heal. That they just had this guy sitting in the dugout unable to play, so they're down a man for if they end up on the 10-day IL for at least 10 days.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
but then you have a guy who might miss 20 days. You're like, well, we got to put him on the 60 because we got to replace him. But then again, he's out for 2 months. So that's the problem that a lot of teams are running into. I feel like the Reds had this problem. I know the Mariners have. That's been a major problem for the Mariners, that they haven't been able to bring in enough warm bodies because they have guys out for 10, 15 days, whatever.
Yep. So the Chicago Cubs also have 14 players on the injured list. Detroit has 10. Let's see. What did I also saw the Dodgers, like 5 or 6 players, but Minnesota, 10 players on the IL. New York Yankees, 10 players on the IL. And then if you go all the way down to the Tampa Bay Rays, they're 15 players on the IL right now. And Washington is at 10 or 11 players on the IL. So the injury bug is running amok right now. And
to say the least, yes, I think that's well put.
We just know that this is what's going to happen. But some of these teams are still winning baseball games, which is to our point. You can't win baseball games with 14 or 15 guys on the IL, but you can win with 8 guys on the IL.
Unless you're the Rays, then you can win games with 15 guys on the IL because you rely on your farm system to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's that. Well, but I don't know how many games they will continue to win because you've got Margot has a hamstring injury that might linger. Brandon Lowe has a back issue. He's out to the 20th. That's new. That's
Colby White's out for the rest of the season I think he's going to have Tommy John.
Yeah, so Yandy Diaz has been a significant contributor. He has a shoulder injury that could linger. He looks like his was from Sunday, but it says that he's probable for Tuesday, but who knows what's going to happen there.
Same with Wander Franco. Same thing. Sunday had a problem, and he could be back Tuesday, but we'll see.
Yeah. So keep an eye on the Rays too, because if these injuries linger and they come back to bite them, that could be a mighty fall in the AL East. So could be a big problem.